Well, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful, rainy, snowy day. Nothing's building on the ground. They said we was going to get 3 to 6 inches, but, well, I'll show you out the window in the shop here. It is flurrying and snowing, but as you can see, nothing major. That's just the way we like it. But today, we're going to dress the old girl up. We're going to put her side pans on. We've got them right there. Got 2 of them. We've got the hood all painted. That's just dust because I was down here blowing some dust. But yeah, she's all painted up. And got the headlight piece over there. And it's a mess over here. I've been working on the tractors and just throwing stuff down. But it don't look pretty like it's supposed to, but it's better than it was. It was pretty damn bad. I got to put the headlights in it. And yeah, some of the stuff I was replacing. Old cultivator teeth that were broke and whatnot. Like I say, when I get done doing something, I'm in a hurry. You know, the tools and everything comes in, goes on the bench, and I go to work. And it's a bad habit of mine. But, you know, it is what it is. That's how I do stuff. And today, before the day's over, I'll probably get it cleaned up. I got till 10 o'clock down here. It's 9:30 now. I'm not going to be down here that long, but I want to put the nose on. The hood's up there all painted. There actually is a bottom strip that needs to be painted. So once I get the nose on, I'll probably just put some rags on this so it don't scratch the top. And I'll bring that hood down here and give it a quick coat of paint. And then I'll go out and help Carol. I just came back from the greenhouse. She walked over here about 10 minutes ago. And says the heat ain't on in number 3. So I said, okay. I said, I want to go upstairs and get my hat and my sweatshirt because it's raw out. So I go upstairs and, well, by this time, she'd left about 10 minutes earlier. By this time, the alarm's gone off in the house. Now, that alarm's 120 decibel, I believe it is. And it's right in a walkway that goes into the basement, right by our bedroom. It's probably 3 feet from my head if you went through one wall. And it'll set you up in bed. Well, in the living room, old Jezebel, she's petrified of that alarm. Always has been. If you just test it and just go beep, just flip it just for a second. Don't even let it come up to full volume. Just make it chirp with a switch just to test it. It puts her right berserk. She'll go outside and she won't come back in the house. She goes to the back corner of the lot. You have to go out and pick her up and lug her back. So she's been petrified. Always been petrified of that thing. So I go up there this morning. That thing's just a screaming. You know where the dog is? Sound asleep. Ain't got a care in the world. I think she's totally deaf now. We knew that she was real hard of hearing because she don't respond to us at all. She can be 10 feet and you can holler to her. And if she feels like walking over on the lawn, she don't have a harness on or whatever, she's going to walk wherever she wants. She, you know, totally oblivious. Carol thought she was just, you know, being a little bitch, but not paying attention to us. But no, she's deaf. So, you know, we got to be good to her. Lucky we got her. Anyway, she's a rig. But, okay, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to dress this old girl up and I'll bring you along a little bit. Well, we're working on this side panel here and I forgot. I had to shine up a spot here for the ground. I'm going to put a little bit of dielectric grease around it. Just keep the corrosion off. And put just a smidge on that piece. That'll crush it right out of the way to make the ground, and the rest of it should keep it from oxidizing. Hopefully. Get a rag here real quick. And I also had my file out and I elongated that hole just a little bit to try to make up for this shoulder not quite fitting. But we'll see if this panel fits on there now. We'll all see together at the same time. Now let's see. That one starts. This might go right on, you never know. That one's gonna start. Yeah, we gotta see. I might have to cut that bolt off. There's a hydraulic line right behind it that it might touch. We'll have to see here when we get this one tightened up. But that looks much better than it did. Yeah, I'm not even going to put that one in tight. I'll cut that off later, off camera. You don't have to watch me hacksaw off a bolt, but that's what I'm going to do to it. Because that little line right there is basically about 1/4 of an inch behind the weld nut back there. I do not want to have that chafing that high pressure line right there. So, or at least I think it's high pressure line. I'm not sure. Looks like it to me. Anyway, we'll set that right there. We'll go on to the next project. Well, I'm running into a little bit of a snag here. Nothing major. I've set this on. And these 2 bolts over here, I can pick up the threads, as you can see. They're close. But this one over here, if you look at it straight on, it's not going to pick it up. And I don't want to force it, because then you'll put tension in it and then your stuff will crack. So I've got to figure where it's going to be up and down before I go and take the rasp and remove a little bit of fiberglass. So I'm going to go get the hood. And we'll set the hood on here. And we'll see how bad it looks. Well, that looks good on the back. So that line there, well, we're only about 1/4 of an inch from setting on that. So yeah, I don't know if that'll bolt on that far ahead. It'd be nice if it would. Yeah, I'd say it might. It's going to be close. Well, this one here is way back. So we're going to have to chase these holes. That'll get it right there. I think it ought to be down just a skosh. Yeah, see that? Oh, that's right there. But it makes this line look better if it goes down a little bit. That's a rubber hose, and it's just an overflow, and it's been rubbing before. So I think that's where I'm going to set it. Right there. It's actually, you know, just a little below the midpoint. I might even knock it up just a 1/16 of an inch and I'll put it in the midpoint. And I'm going to do a little bit of rasp in there. Go get a rat tail file. Get my my boogie board knee protector. Doesn't take much to chew up fiberglass. That should do it right there. same thing down here. That one should fit. So, I'll go grab me a couple of bolts real quick. I'm sure every mechanic in the world knows it, but if you ever doing stuff like this and you're in a tight spot, if you go down the next size on your washers, they'll fit right on. These are 1/4 inch washers on a 5/16 bolt. And they fit right on pretty good. Of course, now you got to start this stuff all going through, which I don't know if it's going to cooperate or not. These are probably the only 4 bolts in the tractor I didn't run a tap through. And I probably should have. Well, that one started right in nice. I hate fiberglass because it's like you can break it so easy. Well, that looks like it should be straight, but it's not apparently. It's down. There she goes. Yes, sir. That one's going to be tight. Oh, do I have a 1/2 inch wrench here? Probably not. Huh. Well, I can get one off quick. Got to tell you this story. Back about... No, I ain't gonna go. I'm gonna take that off, see why. Back about, yeah, started in straight. I'd say I gotta run a tap through that one. Back about, this is just about an individual who is my opposite. I work at Freiburg Fair in the fall. It's a week-long job. This friend of mine, he keeps coming out and he says, you know, my boy, he needs to hire a diesel mechanic. I says, I'm not doing that anymore. And he goes on and on and on. He says, you really ought to give him a call. I can't find anybody. I said, well, what's he rebuilding? He says, a tugboat engine. So, as time goes on, like a month or so of him calling me in the evenings and stuff, he finally talks me into talking to his boy. The guy's name is Mark. So we agreed on a price, and he paid me a lot more than what I asked for. I'll just say that much. He treated me unbelievably good. But we're not going to get into the price of stuff. But anyway, I go on up there. He says, now, you take a tool out, you put it back. He said, if you pick that tool up and the open end is towards the back of the toolbox, you put it back that way. He says, you know, whatever through whatever size goes in this one, whatever size, you know, and he's going through this great big Snap-on toolbox. The thing probably weighed a ton. So I says, yeah, okay, I can deal with this. So, and I did my best, and I'm not saying I'm like he was, but you know, if I was down with a wrench for 15 minutes, it went back, and I just kept it in my head, you know, put your stuff back. So I did. I kept putting my stuff back. And as we went on, I had so much respect for this guy. This guy's unbelievable. And I remember one day I needed a part. I was putting, it was a, what the what was it, a D390, 399, I think. It was 16 cylinders anyway. Big cat. And to me, you know, they're all the same. You just got to know what the specs are and put them together. So, for those of you who know diesels, we had to put in 16 Z-certs. Which for them to come on out and do it, it was going to be stupid money. And we put in 16 of them, I think it was in 2 days. And we did it right. We had all the tools set up specific for each job, and we hammered it in. It was fast. He was doing the boring, and I was doing the drilling, and it was crazy how fast it went. You know, 2 guys. There was actually 4 guys working on this boat, but me and him was doing this particular job. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, like I do a lot. So we get back on to his shop, and I'm asking for this O-ring. And it was an O-ring that went into the intercooler system. One of the big metal pipes. And that's all they do. They put an O-ring around it, shove it into the socket, and there's a clamp that just holds it from coming back out. And that's all it seals it. It's pretty simple. Nice setup. Let stuff move a little bit as it heats and expands and, you know, all that stuff. So I was going along and I needed the O-ring. And I says, hey Mac, where do I find the O-ring for this? Because I thought, you know, he was going to give me a box, you know. He says, that's, you know, I don't remember the number, like 53 dash whatever. And he lists off this 8 or 10 numbers and letters and all that. He said, it's in that box over there. He said, and they come in 3 different colors. He says, get the, I don't remember now if it was blue or brown or what color it was, but I think it might have been brown, but I don't remember. So I go on over and open it up. Sure enough, part number's right there. A little while later, I needed a smaller O-ring. Whistles the number right off. And then I was looking something about for a bolt one day. Something dash something. Says, yeah, he said, don't have one of them, I'll order it. And it's just, he knew every part number on that friggin' boat, on that engine. He'd rebuilt quite a few of them. I've been around a lot of them. And he says he don't have a photographic memory, but I'll tell you, I say he does. I think his father does too. He won't admit it either, because his father's brilliant also. Both of them outstanding mechanics, can do anything. And it was one of the neatest experiences I ever did in my life, was taking a chance on that job. And I learned a lot. And I even taught him a few things, which was kind of neat, you know, when you take somebody that's brilliant and they're struggling with something and you go on over and say, nah, this is how you do that. You know, because we actually had 4 diesel mechanics that were genuine diesel mechanics working on this. And every one of us was teaching the other ones tricks, you know, that they had learned. And it was quite an experience. And but yeah, that was pretty neat. He's the opposite of me. I mean, everything is right back where it belongs. In all the boxes, I needed a jig to press in it was one of the cooling water pump seals. And I said to him, I says, how do you want to go about that so we don't break this seal? He says, oh, I got the right tool. He says, 3rd draw down. He says, middle layer. Now this guy's got stuff strategically placed in layers in these 9-10 inch deep draws. He says, middle layer, he said, about a foot from the right-hand side and about a foot back. He says, you'll see it. So I go on over and I just look at that and I'm like, yeah, okay, here's about a foot, here's about a foot. Pick off the top piece. Oh, nice, right there. I set the top piece back down and he says, put it back where it was. But this guy, everything in that toolbox is in his head. It's like unbelievable. So if you've never worked with anybody that really had a brilliant, pretty much photographic mind, you've missed something, because it's amazing. And yeah, anyway, that's just a story. I'm going to shut you off a minute here and I'm going to frig with this. Talk to you later. Well, I had a little snag, or I guess it's a psychological blunder. I keep thinking about this fiberglass. I'm thinking it's going to break because I've got it right on metal to metal. So I've been thinking about this and thinking about it. You know, the hood fits on fine. I got the bolts in the back of it. And it looks a lot better than it did. I mean, it's starting to look like a tractor. But up front here, I happen to have a roll. You can see it sitting on the pinhole up there. About a 3 foot long roll of, I think it's neoprene. I'm not really sure. Somebody threw it in the transfer station a long time ago. And I says, geez, it's too bad to throw that out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make myself some rubber pads. Drive into this piece of oak here. I only need 8 of them. So shouldn't be too bad. And I'm going to bed that in this some type of rubber. Like I say, I don't know if it's neoprene or what it is, but I've had it rolled up for 20 years down here. I've never used it. It's probably time to use it. So I don't know why I'd want to save it for a better, better opportunity. So I'm going to slide these right in underneath them bolt holes. Of course, everything I'm doing, is my hand's in the way, but anyway, we're just cutting them with a utility knife. I'll trim the front ones up a little better, maybe, I don't know, it depends there how big they look when I go to put them in. But I think if I put one of these front and back of that joint on the fiberglass, it probably will help it. Some of them I know got to be fairly close to the edge, so that one's probably all right. Yeah, oh, somebody wants me, probably Carol. Be right back. Well, sorry about that interruption there. One of my best friends called up there, and I had him on speakerphone, so I was over here. I got the first one in. Of course, these won't be visible, so I do think this is going to be an improvement. Instead of cracking, I don't think it'll be so likely to crack. If that's bedded in rubber. And, I'm no expert on it, but yeah, them are snug. And let's see what we got here. That one there. Or do I have a thinner one? I might have to go get that utility knife and thin out a couple of these. Be right back. Quick and easy. So these are the outside pieces. These here will go on the inside. Gotta be careful, don't want to break nothing. This thing ought to be gold plated for what it costs. Oh, guess it was right. Yeah, I think that's going to be much better than metal to fiberglass. Just got to be careful not to over tighten stuff. Oh, yeah, I like that. Makes me feel a lot better than the way it was. Yeah, the hood bolted right back on. Now comes the final touch. That'll make it look decent. Now, do I have... There is one bolt. I may be lacking a bolt. Well, you know something? I got these two right here. They're not actually what I was planning on using, but they're a matched pair anyway. They're actually for the dash, but we'll see if they'll line up and go in. No, they're not long enough, I guess. They've got to be fairly long. Huh. No, that's definitely not long enough. That's all right. We're going to leave it like that. Those bolts aren't long enough, so that means we will have to get a couple more bolts. But that's what she's going to look like. It looks a lot better than it did. You know, it's not perfect because I got to still paint the middle cover, and I'll paint along as I go. I don't think I'm going to do the back fenders this year because I don't have time enough to take this apart and straighten this all out. And when I do these fenders, I want to straighten out that mess right there. I got to get this out of here within the next day or two. And need to put that Farmall cub in, the one that we was pulling the plastic with. That's got real bad seal leaks in the rear end final drives. And I'm going to say it might leak maybe a half pint a week. I mean, it makes a heck of a puddle on the floor. So, and it never did till this year. It used to just make a little spot all went along. You just, a couple little spots. Now, I moved it this spring and drove it back in, and it like almost dumped all the oil in the rear end right there in a spot. I still haven't put floor dry on it, but I will. Yeah, so anyway. Oh, I haven't put the bumper on yet either. That'll make it even a little better. I got to do some wire wheeling of bolts, and I'll have you back in a minute. Well, best laid plans. I put that grill on and the hood all on. And then I couldn't get the bumper on. So we just took the grill back loose so that we can get the bumper to slide up underneath, which should be able to get now. That's done. There. So, good right there. So we'll put, guess we'll put the grill back together first. And yeah, perfect. Dandy right here likes to be a pain in the butt. Come on. That's all she needed. A little adjustment. Perfect. There, now we're back to where we were a little bit ago. And I'm going to cheat on these bolts here. Since we got the tools sitting right here beside me. Might as well. Beautiful. Yeah, we can set the screen back on even though the bolts aren't on the top of it. We'll get some. There we go. There, so that's what it's going to look like. We've got the bumper on. Hood fits decent. This issue right here is because at some point in its life, the top of the radiator's drove down, and it doesn't leak. So, as a person that's not a radiator man, I hate radiators. I'm not touching it. If I ever send it to a radiator shop, I'll ask them to straighten out the top tank, which I'm sure they would on their own anyway. But, you know, it's coming. So, she got kind of dressed up this morning, and I got to go up to the greenhouse, and we're gonna be just thrashing, planting tomatoes. So I'm not gonna do any video out there today because it's full speed ahead. But she told me I had till 10 o'clock, and as you can see up there on the clock, it's I assume we can get close enough you can read it. Yeah, it's 10 after. So that's pretty good. She'll forgive me for that one, I'm sure. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. It's my little tractor's starting to come together. And yeah, we'll be working on it more. But we'll talk to you later.